Eagle GX Drivetrain 1x on my rig. So, first impressions, I'll just run down our list here. This is a 50-tooth ring on the outside of the cassette, and then a 32 ring up front here. So that gives me the same climbing gear that I had on the 2x. So far I can confirm in the first few rides that I've done, it feels exactly the same. One thing I've noticed about this drivetrain is it seems quite a bit more forgiving when you're shifting under load. On the XT, Shimano XT, I had to soft pedal quite a bit to shift, even when you're doing kind of a climb. Very happy with the gearing ratio. Another thing I noticed is, if you look at what I perceive to be fairly strange alignment of the chain, I'm more used to the chain kind of coming out on the XT and then going through the pulley system. But this one seems to kind of form a triangle. I realized either they're doing this just because of the odd geometry of the cassette, or they're doing this because they're brilliant. But it has completely eliminated all the chain slap. And so I was kind of descending up out there, Corona and South Mountain. What is wrong with this thing? Oh, I'm not hearing all the chain slap. So the chainstay isn't getting beaten up anymore on the descents, and I'm delighted about that. I was a little worried that having ridden on the 2x for 5 years, that I might have trouble adapting to shifting with one shifter. And I feel like counterintuitively, what might actually be happening is I'm shifting less, because kind of my cruising gear is now maybe the third ring down, and I'm not spending any action switching up front. It's kind of funny though, and sort of sad that you have all this vestigial equipment left over on my rig now, where there used to be a front shifter. So, there was a direct mount front derailleur there, and then all this cabling, and that's all gone now. So for the first time ever since I've been mountain biking, I think my rig got lighter. I'm really, really happy that they were able to preserve the bike shop here. I run with a Black Spire. It's a bash guard and a drop guard combined, but you can see my bash guard has done its job dutifully. And it's advertised that this drivetrain has what they call a narrow wide chain ring up front, so it kind of pulls the chain on and it should never drop, but I don't trust anything, and so I'm still glad that I have my chain guide, but it is advertised. Allegedly, you don't need one. So as far as shifting goes, apparently, as it was explained to me, the system can be a little bit twitchy on the B-limit screw. So they advertise that you kind of have to get yourself down to 30% sag on your front shock, right? And there's even a 30% indicator here. And then you adjust your B-limit screw there, and they even supply a tool that comes with the Eagle GX. It's a clear red template that you can put down here with somebody sitting on the bike at sag at 30%, and then you get your B-limit adjusted how you want it. Okay, so finally a couple other thoughts. The shifter is one of my favorite improvements on this system. So the XT system, although I loved it, on the shifter had this dumb little indicator that drove me crazy, because all it would do is fall apart and rattle, and I never would ever look down and look at my shifters to find out what gear I'm in. So I really like the ergonomics. One thing you can tell about this shifter is, here we're going to do a demo for you. It is loud. So there's no question that your friends are going to know you're grabbing a gear when you're shifting. I've also noticed that while I'm shifting and I'm pedaling, the spring on the rear derailleur seems powerful enough that you can kind of feel the shifting telegraphing through the entire body of the rig, and you can feel it in the handlebars. But I've been very, very, very happy so far. Nothing but good things to say about the system, especially considering you get everything you got on the 2x, but less weight, less moving parts, less cables, less derailleurs. It's an absolutely fantastic design. I suppose if somebody wanted to throw some sort of darts at it, the I do know that it takes a special chain, and you can even see there's a special chain brake, chain linkage here for braking the chain. So I have yet to, I've only broken a chain once on a ride, but not sure what that would be like in the field. But those are my thoughts so far on the Eagle GX 1x. Okay, so we are out here at South Mountain on Corona, which is my favorite climb. Just doing one last little climb on this drivetrain. So I have a month on this drivetrain now, so I think I feel like I can give some good ratings. So we're going to do our 5-star system again. So on the first rating here, I'll start with price. So this drivetrain I think is, for me, is at least 4.5 stars, because for $500, you get the cranks, you get the ring, you get the chain, and you get the cassette, plus the derailleur. That's extraordinary in mountain biking. Something that affordable for this kind of performance for me is extraordinary. So, on style, that would be our next category. It's kind of funny. I mean, Fred and I were debating whether we would talk about style, but I give it 3 stars at least on style, because I'm really happy with the design and the ergonomics of the shifter. I'm super happy with there's no chain slap, and it's been so far just extraordinary. So, and what's our next category, Fred?
The next category will be engineering.
All right, so engineering, I've mentioned a couple of times. What I'm most impressed with is that you can shift while you're pedaling. There's not so much soft pedaling on the climbs. So I would give this 3.5 to 4 stars. We'll go with 4. Why not? I'm just so impressed with the price point compared to performance. So we got 4 stars there. So on our final category here, we're going to go talk about durability. And there's 3 ranges for the Eagle drivetrain. There's NX, GX, and then there's a couple above. The GX is kind of the middling. That's what I'm riding. Fred, you're riding actually today on an NX, right? And they start getting crazy. Like above the GX, they start going to like carbon cranks and stuff. But I was just so happy to get rid of the weight with the front derailleur and all the cabling and the shifters. Like I said, it's the first time my bike has ever gotten lighter, so I've been absolutely thrilled with that. So 3 stars for me on durability, and so far the B-limit screw adjustment has been just fine, and no problems whatsoever with this drivetrain.